What's up, everybody? Time now for our March 18th Rangers spring training update. Rangers and the Reds will face off tonight, just past 8 o'clock in the Metroplex. Rangers beat the Diamondbacks last night 3-0. Both Kyle Gibson and Dane Dunning looked really sharp. We're going to get into Kyle here in a little bit. But as far as last night's concerned, 4 scoreless innings for Kyle, 4 hitless innings for Kyle. Dane Dunning, 3 scoreless with just 1 hit allowed. I'm not sure what the radar gun was showing because Dane looked great, but the velocity, it showed like 87, 88 for a few pitches that appear to be fastballs. Maybe they were just hard changeups. Maybe the radar gun was a little wonky. It was odd because there was no indication by anyone that something was off physically with Dane. And he looked really sharp in yesterday's outing. He's had a really good spring and has earned, I believe he's earned a spot on the opening day roster as a part of one of these tandem piggyback rotation duos. But enough about the game. Yesterday, had a chance to chat with David Dahl. David, one of the new Texas Rangers, acquired this offseason, and really wanted to ask him about something I noticed on Twitter. Prior to the Rangers game against the Giants on Tuesday, David was wherever his spring training home is here in the Arizona area. Don't know if he's in Surprise or Scottsdale or wherever, but he's here with his wife and his newborn daughter. And I think his wife tweeted a little video of David wearing Oculus virtual reality goggles, or whatever the proper characterization is, while swinging or at least holding a bat and imitating the preparation of a swing. And Joey Gallo told me, hey, David's using this VR stuff to try and prepare, for matchups. And I asked David about it. It's really interesting. It just so happened that was the first time he had utilized that, but it's something he plans on doing more of. He ended up with 3 hits against Johnny Cueto and the Giants, but he was watching Johnny Cueto through virtual reality as if he was in the batter's box. And it's really interesting. And later on, I'm going to ask Chris Woodward about this because I feel like this is a fascinating usage of technology that could end up being a big part of how hitters prepare for pitchers across the league. I think David Murphy, and he's not the only one who had this sentiment. He told me, listen, video's great. You can, pick up a few things, but at the end of the day, he said, I need to be in the box to really see how a pitcher's pitches look to me from my vantage point in the box, next to the plate, them on the mound. Video can teach you some minor things, maybe some major things. You can pick up on some details, but there's nothing that replicates being in the box. The problem is there's no way for me to just say, hey, I'm facing Zach Greinke tonight. Call up Zach. Hey, Zach, I need to prepare for you. Can you come and stand 60 feet, 6 inches away, elevated on a mound and, throw a couple pitches? Obviously, that's not happening. So this virtual reality, I guess, and I haven't put it on, but according to David and others around the league I know utilize this, according to David, it gives you a pretty good realistic view of that pitcher 60 feet 6 away on the mound, with his motion throwing various pitches. So whether it's, hey, I'd like to really see how fill in the blank pitcher's curveball looks, or maybe it's, hey, I just want to see pitches from fill in the blank pitcher, and I'm not going to know what's coming. I want to see if I can identify this pitch or that pitch. And I imagine as this technology continues to develop, this is something more and more people are going to utilize because it's an opportunity, especially if you have not seen someone before. Maybe you haven't seen them recently. Maybe you have seen them, but you haven't been able to really pick up what they're doing. It allows you a more realistic replication of what is actually going to happen later on that night, that year, whatever it might be when you face that pitcher. And I just thought that was really interesting. And I'm curious how much this is going to evolve and grow within the game of baseball from a preparation standpoint. One other thing I want to bring up today, Kyle Gibson is the opening day starter. We've discussed this. We learned this a couple of days ago. He's looked really good this camp. And I said before camp started, I expect Kyle Gibson to be much better in 2021. We went through this as Rangers fans with Jake Diekman. He had ulcerative colitis. It really, bugged the you-know-what out of him. It was an issue. He had to deal with it. He ended up having, the series of 3 surgeries, and it took him, a year probably even after he was cleared before he was really Jake Diekman again. He was okay before, but he returned to status of one of the best relievers in the game, a little bit after. Kyle Gibson lost a lot of strength, really had some major complications with ulcerative colitis after the 2019 season. And he spent that offseason leading into his first year with the Rangers just barely trying to get ready. I don't even know. I don't recall if for sure when we left spring training 2020 in March because of COVID, I don't recall if we knew for sure at that time Kyle Gibson was definitely going to be ready when the season started. I think that was the hope and that was the plan. I don't know if it ever was definitive. We obviously never needed to find out because of COVID. But I bring that up to share this. He was climbing an uphill battle just to get to the starting line. Whereas a lot of guys, they're already at the starting line. They're stretching and getting ready for the race, so to speak. Guys always talk about how an offseason spent recovering from an injury is much different than an offseason spent, maintaining the body, improving the body, and working on things to get better. I think that's what Kyle had the opportunity to do this past offseason. I think he physically, his body is back to where it typically is. He's stronger, and I think you're going to see a much better year from Kyle. Remember, Kyle's under contract for this year and one more. And I think that I really believe that if this rebuild goes right and the Rangers are competitive again here in the near future, it likely will be without Kyle Gibson unless the Rangers bring him back after this contract. But I think that he could be a guy some of these young pitchers 3, 4, or 5 years from now say, hey, Kyle Gibson was so helpful for me. He is the veteran that they can look up to, and he's the right guy for that. Not everyone is fit to be a leader. Not everyone is fit to impart wisdom and share their knowledge and do it in a way of a mentor. Not everyone's personality is befitting of that, and that is okay. But Kyle's is. Kyle is looked up to in that way. He commands respect in that way. But it's important, not that he's the best pitcher in the rotation, but he's got to be good enough to be in the rotation. And 2020 Kyle Gibson probably doesn't last an entire full 162 game season in the rotation with that type of performance. I don't think that's the guy we're going to see, though. And I just really think that his presence is going to be really valuable for a lot of these young pitchers. So there you go. That's our Rangers update for today. Talk to you guys later.